Aloha, it's 365 Real Estate Minute.
With Eric and Julie Ziemelis with Real.
And today, things are changing here in the West Hawaii real estate market. And we wanted to give you a few of those so you can help make a better decision if you're thinking of buying a house or condo here in spring of 2025.
Okay, one of the big reasons we're doing this video is because the rates have dropped. Many of our buyers have been sitting on the fence for over 6 months waiting for the market to drop in terms of rates.
So where are we at now for market rates, Julie?
They've been sitting at like over 7%, and just this last week they finally dropped to 6.3%, and that is a big deal considering that the inflation rates have gone up. So Eric, tell them a little bit about why they might.
It's a little complicated, but there's several reasons that the interest rates have dropped. The Federal Reserve has been really trying to crunch down on our to make sure that the inflation doesn't get away with it. So they've been making sure that the interest rates are kept high, which slows down inflation. But now it looks like that things are slowly starting to loosen up a little bit. So their policies are shifting, and they're talking about making some rate cuts here in 2025. And just the fact that they're talking about this is enough to affect the interest rates. And that's what's kind of interesting, is that the interest rates are not directly connected to the Federal Reserve. But just the fact that they are generally, if one decides to do something, the other one sort of follows it indiscriminately. No, maybe not indiscriminately, but you guys know what I mean.
Well, and also just so you guys know, with the tariffs maybe coming in against Canada, that we get a lot of building supplies from Canada. So with that being in play, that's another thing. You're thinking that the market is going to start to rise in inflation, so they're lowering their interest rates to kind of cap that.
Going back to the idea that economic growth is slowing, right? And that would, of course, slow down interest rates as well.
Right.
Lower
And
them.
so what they're trying to do is just kind of keep the market, going. And what's happened lately is that with people stuck in their homes with these 2.5 point interest rates, they're not leaving. So they said it was going to take probably interest rates down into the fives to get people to move. Well, they've always said right now, we're not going to see 5% interest rates again, probably in the next few years. So that's the reason we started this video, is that we wanted to let you know that the rates going from 6.8 to 6.3% is kind of a big deal, especially when we have such much volatility in the market, and these could go up as we continue the rest of the year. So if you've been on the fence waiting for rates to go down, this is your time. If you look back, you're going to see that this is the time to do it. And as we keep talking about this housing market, that this is a chance you're not going to have to be competing with other buyers. And so that way you guys can get a decent mortgage rate, and they can also deal with the fact that they can ask for concessions, and we'll talk about the housing prices. But now I'm telling you guys, just if nothing else from this video, I want you guys to know that.
Let me jump in. That was kind of the reason why we actually decided to do this video, because it was such a big drop that there were so many people sitting on the fence at 7. There's no way I can afford to do anything at 7% interest rate. But 6.3, we're starting to get to the point where it's actually doable for a lot more people than it was before.
Right. Okay, for single family homes, those of you who are looking to buy in West Hawaii, I just want to give you guys information that right now the homes are selling at 96% of list price. We call that the 4% sales deal. So what's happening is that housing prices are softening. Sellers are giving concessions to buyers. And so this, again, it shows that the market softening is a great opportunity to jump in and just not lowball the offer, but at least know that there is room for negotiation. And what's going on with the price?
Okay, so here in January, the median house prices here for the single-family houses here in Kona is around 1.3.
Yeah, and what we've been seeing is a lot more inventory coming on the market as well lately. We've been watching, before you guys seriously would go to these caravan meetings, and there'd be like 5 houses to see. Now there's like 13.
Yes,
right?
Definitely. Making it a little easier for a buyer to find a place.
That's right. So condos are selling much faster this year than they are last year, and there's a lot of inventory actually on the market right now. There's over 186 condos right now on the market, which is a lot more than just a year ago. So what about
okay, so let's talk about number of sales, because that kind of ties in with this pretty well.
Okay.
In February of 2024, there were 16 condos that sold during that month, and this month in 2025 there was 26. For that is a 62% increase in condo sales. So the condo market is just kind of rolling, in terms like that.
Right, and so in fact we've been seeing a lot of people from the West Coast coming over to purchase a condo, investment condos.
Yep.
And so what we've also seen is that some of the condos, like in, let's say, Lihilani, if you're familiar with that are not used for short-term vacation rentals, there's a lot of inventory stacking up with days on market rolling up, and those prices are actually coming down a little bit.
Yep.
So it's,
So there's
it's a different
opportunities,
market.
right? It's
There's
kinda
the
like-
investor market, and then there's the I want to live here in Kona market.
And since we're talking about condos, can we talk about condo insurance for a second
Yes.
and how that ties in?
Yeah.
One thing that's happened in the last couple of years, as you guys know, is that the condo insurance has, I wouldn't say skyrocketed, but definitely gone up by a significant amount. And I'll just quickly, briefly, this started way back when in Florida with all the crazy hurricanes and stuff. So they weren't making enough money. And then, then we had the fires in Lahaina. So with those being said, condo insurance here on the Big Island has gone up. And it's gone up, they were predicting it to go up pretty substantially. Didn't quite pan out quite as high as they were all expecting, but on average for anywhere from $300 to $500 per person on the HOA fees, which is, I guess, it definitely is pretty steep, and it really hurts the lower price condo a lot harder than the higher ones. So, but it's interesting that even with all these raising of HOA fees, that we still have a lot of condo sales going on.
Right, and what I've been thinking about is the fact that with the HOA fees going up, is that a lot of the investors are just thinking they'll pass it on to the people who actually rent those condos.
That's right.
for
So if you
short-term
guys are
vacations.
expecting to come to Hawaii and get a cheap condo to rent, I don't know if that's
You're going to know
happen.
why the prices are going up, because the HOA fees doubled. But also, though, the opportunities, though, are that a lot of people who own condos know HOA fees are going up, and they're trying to get out of them.
Yeah.
And so there's opportunity again for the investors.
And and just to let you know, if you're interested in purchasing one, there's opportunities where some people are really struggling with them. So that's why I don't want to say dumping them, but are definitely inclined to make a deal quickly.
Yes. So especially like again in those the ones where there's not an STVR in place for less than 30 days. But also let's make sure that they know that we can help people understand the market better in terms of does it pencil. We have a great video that we can send
Yeah,
to
we
you.
just did one.
Right? And then also we can also be there to help you understand which condo complexes are the best condos to buy in.
Well, for what your needs are, of course, because everyone has a different,
Yeah,
depending
if
on
you're
what
here
you're
full
looking to
time,
do.
if you're investing, in fact, we've got a lot of younger people coming nowadays. They're looking to try and buy something now that they can retire into. So we've been working with those kinds of people. And so again, if you are in the market this year, good news, at least in the next 6 months. Interest rates are getting more favorable. Condos are selling quickly, but there's also good opportunities to ask for concessions. Single family homes, prices are softening a little bit. Again, good for buyers. Also, if you own a house and you're thinking about selling it, prices are not, they're not like crashing.
Yeah, they're not
just
dropping off. Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough houses for sale here. So the market is steady. So going into the market right now does not mean that next year your house is going to be 20% less than it was this year.
That's right.
We're
which
not in that
tends to-
market.
Yeah, we're definitely not in that market, and it's always interesting because of the there's just not very many houses here, particularly on the west side, to be able to do that.
Right, and so it's a great opportunity again for the inventory that's out there. We've got houses right now that are coming in across all price zones, and so also if you're looking in the high end market, the 2.3 and up to 3 million, lots of houses seem to be coming up in that market as well.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that 1.2, 1.3, because that's the median price of a house, and there's very few fixers, but there are a few out there. And I'll tell you, we've been getting a lot of people saying, "Can you get me something that's cheap and we can work on it?" That's a hot market too. But we can help you find all of them, right?
That we can, yep. And it's funny, we talking about fixers. There's one that came on the market recently, and it's a good price. And I can't believe I've had like 3 people inquire about that one house because it was such a because it doesn't come on very often to be that much of a fixer at that price. So it's funny. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'll take that," but I'm sure it's sold by this time.
Yeah, and so if you call us, we can give you insights on if it seems like a too good of a deal, it usually has a problem.
Yeah.
So give us a call. We'd love to be able to help you. One of the things too that we also offer if you join our Ohana is that we'll give you the free resources, the book on how to move to Kona, the Insider's Guide to Buying Real Estate on the Big Island of Hawaii, and we'll also put you in some groups so you can be connected to other people who've recently moved here, and also a chance to hang out and do beach parties because we do that too. So we're your one-stop shop for your real estate needs.